Welcome back to another Trade Alts technical analysis. And in this video, I'm going to be talking specifically to those of you who are running trading bots out there. So a lot of my community, we have over 2,000 in Discord now, over 1,000 on Telegram. If I'm not mistaken, let me take a look. No, not quite. We're at 937 on Telegram. But anyway, I wanted to do a quick update. It's been a little over a week since my last video. I've been pretty busy. And taking a little bit of time off to spend with my family, but I did want to do a quick analysis tonight and talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance and how that impacts our trading bots. So stay tuned. Let's get to the charts. So I'm going to start off with something that I honestly don't talk about a whole lot in Discord. With some of the OGs that have been there, we talk about Bitcoin dominance every now and then. I did give an update, it was quite a while ago now, about I gave my levels that I was watching, and you can see them right here. But I gave my levels and kind of what I thought, Bitcoin is likely to do as far as like where the levels are being respected. So I'll just kind of start from the very beginning here. So you can see this is 2016, 2017. Bitcoin dominance, obviously back then, it's not a shock that Bitcoin dominance was at like 97.4, even a bit higher. But when it started to cascade down, and this was the crazy 2017 run, right? Crazy bull market. Altcoins obviously did very well. There was a lot of new altcoins in 2017. And, you have this crazy rundown with dominance, got all the way down to the mid 30s. And, you can see here, once we got to the bottom, look at what the bottom is. January, it's January 1st, 2018. So that's when things really, you had the blow off top, 20K with Bitcoin. And then things kind of turned around, right? So as far as a dominance charting, I wasn't really a big fan, I'll be honest with you, of charting dominance. I wasn't sure like it was really useful to do. But I will tell you, recently, it's kind of affirmed for me. It's made, it's confirmed that like this is definitely something to pay attention to, because I think, as far as levels go, it's very well respected. I was actually pretty surprised. That being said, so, you have your 2017, 2018 blow off top Bitcoin, and then you literally have 2 years of pain for altcoins, right? So you have the 2018, 2019, you have your bear market. Things aren't looking very good. But Bitcoin versus alt, Bitcoin is absolutely crushing altcoins during this phase. So here, when you start in the beginning, altcoins are doing incredibly well versus Bitcoin. Everybody's making a lot of money and everybody's pretty happy. Kind of sounds familiar, right? And then you hit your bottom, and alts versus Bitcoin just get absolutely destroyed for basically the next 2 years. And then you kind of get some sideways action going on here. Alts start to kind of gain some ground. And you can see here very recently, so this is, the end of the year, 2020, the beginning of 2021, Bitcoin dominance comes up perfectly, touches the 618. I mean, look at that, just absolutely perfectly. And this is your macro 618, starting from your swing high here, right before, you see this cascade down to the very low, comes up, almost touches your 618 here, backs off a bit, perfect touch here. And so far, again, for those of you who are using trading bots, the last, since the beginning of the year, it's been very easy money. If you're in alts, you're killing it for the most part. Like, it's been easy money to be in altcoins. Now, you see the levels that I have marked off here, and they're pretty well respected. Like, I'm pretty, like I do like what I see as far as these levels go. And I had mentioned previously, it was a few weeks ago, I'm not sure, I think maybe we were around here, I'm not sure, it was a while ago. But I had said if we lose this macro value area low, then you kind of look to your next level of support, right? Which is this quarterly level, which is a very big level. And you can see the last time this quarterly was made essentially in 2019. So we haven't seen low 50s on Bitcoin dominance since 2019. So think about that for a second, right? I mean, we're talking 2 years ago. It's been 2 years since Bitcoin dominance has been this low. And if you look at it currently, you can see we've lost the quarterly and we're kind of back testing it right now, and it's resistance. So this quarterly SR level here at about 53 is currently your resistance on Bitcoin dominance. If we lose this level, which honestly to me this level's lost right now, I am looking to this yearly. And the thing about that is, if we continue to see dominance fade and it comes back to levels that it hasn't seen since 2018, what does that mean for altcoins? Well, I will tell you, altcoins versus Bitcoin are going to look phenomenal. Like they're going to continue, like you're going to see alts continue to perform well if you see this yearly level hit. That being said, though, like it's like, do you think that this is going to just come in, come down to this yearly in a straight line? I highly doubt it. I wouldn't be surprised to see a bounce. And any bounces, like they're going to hurt, especially if you're trading the Bitcoin pairing. So that's kind of why I warn those of you who are trading alts versus Bitcoin, especially, those of you who are using trading bots to trade alts versus Bitcoin. You probably had a pretty good time, well, I'd say with the exception of the last couple of days. Those have been pretty brutal. Unless your bots are set up to be able to withstand the type of price action that we've seen over the last couple of days. Like for me, I'm happy with it, but I know there's been, there's quite a few of you who are running, I'd say, more aggressive settings. And that's, I kind of hope that over the last couple of days, you've had a chance to see how your bots perform and you're able to make adjustments going forward. Because I think that's really beneficial for you to actually see, but it's kind of one of those things. I continue to encourage new people to start out slower. That way, when you see how your bots perform in, under these certain markets, or like the market conditions that we've seen over the last couple of days, it gives you better insight to kind of what you can expect going forward. With that being said, we're losing this quarterly level. It's acting as resistance right now. And I want to tell you, if we start making our way down to this yearly level, I do expect this to be pretty massive support. But the ride down is going to be really good if you're in alts. I'll say that. So if I turn on my favorite indicator, so this is Ichimoku on the weekly, and you can see like your blue line, which is your Tenkan here, it's forecasted to drop significantly over the next month or so. So this is kind of something that I would pay attention to, but you can see how far the dominance, I guess you could call this price, but you see how far price is away from your equilibrium area, right? So this tells me like this move is very extended, and obviously you can see, so back up here, you kind of got your top perfect touch of the 618 and a really impulsive move down. Then you had, it's a couple months of sideways. There was kind of just some sideways consolidation going on before your next leg of your impulse here. So it wouldn't surprise me if we were able to actually reclaim this quarterly SR level here and we put in a little bit of a relief bounce. It wouldn't surprise me at all. It would be perfectly normal. But obviously, again, alts versus Bitcoin aren't going to do as well. If you get some kind of relief bounce on, Bitcoin dominance here, that's going to hurt alts. I would say more so your Bitcoin pairings for sure, but your dollar pairings for the most part are going to kind of follow whatever direction the market goes in general, which again, the last few days has definitely been down. I think a lot of you unfortunately are experiencing that right now, but hopefully you're not too affected. But again, and another thing that I see here is you're actually getting a bearish Kumo twist right here. So this, if I'm looking at dominance from a technical analysis perspective, like there's definitely some signs on the higher time frames that are telling me like that we could see continued, pressure to the downside, which is phenomenal for altcoins. So, I'm obviously like pretty heavy in my alt positions at this time. If dominance continues to fall, like, I'll definitely try my best to take advantage of that. But that's kind of what I would be looking for. And again, if this level is reclaimed, this quarterly SR level here at about 53, and you see it start to push up, it wouldn't surprise me. We could even get a bounce all the way back up, maybe to macro value area low here at 59.60, something like that. And you just kind of I would kind of be watching where your Tenkan and your Kijun here is on the weekly level. Especially with something like dominance, I kind of like to watch on a higher time frames. But it wouldn't surprise me if we are able to reclaim this, that we get a decent, you get a decent bounce and like, let's say this is a low, which I honestly don't think that's the low, but you know, your 382 lines up right with your value area low here. That's, you know, I would expect this to be pretty good resistance if we did manage to bounce. But if we got that kind of a bounce in, alts would kind of take a bit of a beating. But that's Bitcoin dominance. So I just wanted to touch on that a bit. Obviously, as the year progresses, this is something that I will be talking about more. So if you have questions about this in Discord or Telegram, feel free to ask. But this is something I will be covering because this does, you know, this definitely has an impact on what you're doing with your trading bots, because we primarily are trading altcoins, right? And especially for those of you who are trading the Bitcoin pairing, you want to know kind of what is going on in this chart to give you an idea of if you can expect continued strength, you know, with your altcoins that you're trading, or if you're, you know, again, if we reclaim this quarterly and start pushing up, your alts are going to look weak against Bitcoin, and you might want to reconsider kind of what you're doing, right? Or make some adjustments. So that's Bitcoin dominance. We're going to move on now. So this is the BLX chart, and I like to use this when I'm doing high time frame analysis. When I'm looking at kind of things from a macro perspective, I like to use the BLX chart because it has the longest, you know, price action history that I'm aware of. So one thing that I did, you know, I've been touching on periodically, and this is kind of something I'll look at, you know, on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. It's not something I look at all the time. But I did this, I kind of shared this logarithmic growth curve, you know, a few months ago when I did that, you know, that Bitcoin video that I did, when I talked about high time frames, I talked about what Bitcoin was, why it was important, and all that stuff. But I will say, I've noticed that over the last couple weeks, that there's a lot more eyes on this growth curve now. So, which I haven't seen before. So the thing that I will say about that is if there's a lot more people that are looking at this growth curve, it kind of makes it efficient, like it's, you know, as far as giving you, you know, I don't want to say like it necessarily gives you an edge or anything like that, but like if there's that many more eyes looking at it, then to me, it becomes less important, right? And I'll tell you, like, I'll just go over it just very quickly. But the thing that I like about it is it is literally called the tops and bottoms in Bitcoin's history. So you look at it back here in 2011, hits the top of the growth curve right here before it comes back down to the bottom. You see it kind of grinding up along the bottom, come back up to the midpoint area. You can see whatever fib this ends up being, comes back up, you know, perfectly taps this before it moves off. And then you get your actual cycle, you know, 2013 top here, comes all the way back down to the bottom of your growth curve and grinds up really nicely before your 2017 blow off top here. And again, you hit right at the top of the growth curve, you come back, and look at this, you back test your midpoint perfectly, another bounce, midpoint bounce, midpoint loss, resistance, come all the way back down to the bottom. Like you can see, like this is very impressive. You know, this has done a very nice job calling Bitcoin price action in Bitcoin's history. And then obviously, like I had talked about in my previous, you know, the video a few months ago, you had Bitcoin come up right back to your midpoint, really big resistance, push down, and then you have your deviation here that we haven't seen, you know, like you haven't seen a deviation. But if you look at the date, March 2020, what was going on there? Coronavirus, right? The whole world was crashing, like all of the markets, you know, there was mass panic everywhere. So having a deviation here isn't something that's going to make me say, oh, this doesn't work anymore, right? Like there's definitely a good reason for this price action that you see here. But now we're kind of, you know, we're back up past the midpoint, which I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I will say, like, the midpoint for me, you know, if Bitcoin does kind of correct here, which isn't out of the question, you know, and that's the thing, we've had several months, I think I don't know if I can see it, maybe like 6 months up. How many green candles have you had? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 months of nothing but up. You know, 6 months of green candles. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if we put in some sideways, you know, sideways, if we could even correct a bit. There wouldn't be anything wrong with that as far as I'm concerned. Obviously, I want, you know, I'm sure everybody wants price to continue higher. I definitely do too. But just from thinking about it in that perspective, it's not out of the ordinary, right? But again, kind of like, what am I looking for? And so you can see this is where my arrow was back here in March. So this is like the last kind of update that I did. So I would shift this over. And basically, the arrow is just telling you, like, it just helps me easily visualize where the top of the growth curve is, right? So like to give you an idea, so let's say it somehow topped in June, so you can see it, you know, June 7th, then price would be around 100 and what is that, 113,000, something like that. Just gives you an idea of like maybe where you should kind of, you know, be cautious if we do end up coming up to visit these levels at some point, which I think we will. But you know, as far as I'm concerned, the reason why I wanted to talk about this in particular is because I wanted to show you a couple of things. So I'm going to go down to a lower time frame so you can see. So again, for those of you in trading bots, right? My trading bot series, I believe, is only, I think it's not even 2 months old, like from video one. So it's like a month and a half, something like that. So we haven't been using these trading bots. You know, the videos haven't been out there very long, but I just wanted to show you, since the beginning of the year, look at the corrections that you have. And I call these corrections, but they're really like, you know, this one is pretty significant. So from your $42,000 high, you got a 31.3% move to the downside. Does that even be, yeah, 31.3% move to the downside. You get another nice move up, 26% move to the downside, 18% move to the downside. And just recently, so this just happened, right? This is kind of why I'm doing this video. We had almost a 20% move to the downside. And I know a lot of you felt that with your trading bots, right? I know I could see in Discord, see in Telegram, kind of like, you know, I talk about this in Discord and Telegram when I see, you know, Bitcoin might have a 2 or 3% move down in a day, and I see people panicking. And that's a big warning sign to me, because that tells me that you're likely like over leveraged, or you're over, you know, like you're over extending yourself with your bots, because it's these moves that you have to prepare yourself for. And you see, you know, it's really within a couple of days, Bitcoin had, you know, when you see Bitcoin move 20% down, you see the impact that has in the market. So like, if there's anything that you've learned, like you learned from this video, it's that. And I want you to remember how your bots did over the last couple of days, how your bots did over this weekend, and remember that, because that's how you should be adjusting your bots to make sure that you're able to weather the storm when it comes, because you can see it's not a question of if, it's when it's going to happen. And just since the beginning of the year, we've had 4 really decent sized pullbacks. I mean, I say these are nice sized pullbacks, 20 to 30% pullbacks, and you can see kind of how those affect your bots, right? So that's why I kind of always say, please be careful, make sure that you're not overextending yourself. And that, again, you can't judge how your bots are doing when you see, you know, when you see Bitcoin move 2 to 3% a day. That's not going to give you an idea. Like, it's moves like this that will give you a better idea. But even so, this 20% move to the downside, you can see it gets a lot worse. And if you go back in previous cycles, you'll see 30 to 40% pullbacks. So that's just to give you an idea. For those of you who are new to trading bots, be very careful. And if you look, you know, we go back to the dominance chart here, right? So what does this tell you? What is this telling you right here? Well, this is telling you, since the beginning of 2021, we've had it very easy. So like, that's one thing that I want, again, for those of you who are starting, and there's a lot of people making a lot of money right now. Like, I see in Discord when people are posting their profits. So like, and like, I'll show you, you know, these are the snapshots that I took today. But there are people here that are making, you know, $700 in a day. Look at this, $1,100 total profit. Like, that's awesome. Like, I know there's people making a lot of money. And these are my snapshots, actually. So I took this while I was driving home yesterday. I didn't get a chance to post it because I was driving, but I did want to catch it 1 minute before daily close. You know, $868 profit for that day. And the reason why, like, I like these down moves, I like volatility, is because it gives my bots a chance to do their job, right? And so here's today's $747 profit. Happy with that. You know, the active deals reserve is a little high. I still have some of my bots that are deep in safety orders. You know, you're talking like 15 to 20 safety orders deep on some of them that I'm still waiting for some of them to close. But I've already explained, like, I'm totally happy. I'm totally fine to wait it out and let my bots do their thing. And like I can't be more clear on why I set my trading bots up the way that I do. And it's very simple, because I like to, I like to enjoy my weekends. And like, well, I see mass panic in Discord, and I see people, like worried about their bots. I set mine up, I use 30 safety orders on a lot of them. I use 2% safety order deviation. I do that for a reason, and it's to cover myself during these, when you have 20% moves down on Bitcoin over the course of 2 days, like it can really put a strain on your bots if you're over leveraged or overextended on them. So I can't stress enough, there's a reason why I do what I do. And for those of you, like I'll do a little bit of Q&A. I would say it's Q&A, but I just want to answer some of the things, some of the common questions that I keep seeing in Discord when you get a lot of new members in. Which, first of all, please take a second to like search for my name in there. You can see everything that I type. Over here in your search box right here, you can literally type my name in here, and everything that I say comes up. Or we have the FAQ. So this is the trading bot room, right? Trading bot FAQs. Like seriously, Ribsy does a great job posting these in here. But come in here and and make sure that if you have a question, likely it's been asked there. But kind of where I'm going with that is I've seen a question being asked quite a bit, and it's usually by new members who come in, and they say like, whoa, like I've seen trade alt settings for his bots, and I look at my bots, and on average, 95% of the time, there's only, 0 to, 3 safety orders that are being filled before my bot's taking profit. So it's like, I feel like I'm wasting, like, why is the settings, like, why are they so, like, why do we have 30 safety orders, or why is he doing that when they never get filled? Well, I think you answered your question if you've been around for the last couple of days. That's why I set my bots up the way that I do. It's literally to catch these moves. And you can see, going back to, the profits from here, it's when I have days like this, $868, $750, like that's like I was traveling. I wasn't trading at all, which is kind of unfortunate. I really would have liked to have traded this move. But that being said though, like that's why I have the settings the way that I do. It's so that I don't have to watch the market. It's so that I don't have to stress about when there's, a 10-20% move down overall. Like I'm pretty confident that my bots are able to withstand, whatever the market throws at it. And it's for that reason. And like, I don't like to micromanage my bots. I like to be very passive with them. So that's why I have the settings that I have. And it's totally fine if you don't want to be, like, if you want to be less, or I guess if you want less safety orders, or you want your safety order deviation to be smaller, whatever it is, that's totally cool. But just be careful. And like, if your bots did a really good job for you the past couple of days, then you're doing it right. Like that's what you want. But if you got absolutely crushed, you got hammered, you ran out of, your bots ran out of funds, whatever it is, that should be a lesson to like help you. And I don't mean it like in a negative way, but it's to help you be able to make the adjustments, based on how your bots did. So you want to be able to make the adjustments, and that way, next time that there's another 20% move to the downside, hopefully your bots will be better prepared if they weren't prepared this time. So anyway, I wanted to take a little bit to talk about that. But I'm going to wrap up kind of my, this turned into a longer video than I was really hoping, but to kind of wrap up with Bitcoin. And again, Bitcoin to me, I always start there. And that's what I spend the most time charting, because to me, Bitcoin sets the tone for the market. It really sets the tone. And if Bitcoin's having a bad day, you can see there's not a lot of alts that are going to be having, you have AXS here, which I think that's Axie Infinity having a nice bounce back. It kind of got beat down for a bit. But overall, like if Bitcoin's not having a great day, a lot of altcoins aren't going to be having great days either. So it's just easier for me to kind of gauge how the market's doing if I just look at Bitcoin. So this is the 12-hour chart, and I'm just going to stick to Ichimoku. And the reason why I'm going to stick to Ichimoku is because my module is coming out very soon. So I want to keep it very strict to Ichimoku. Now, that being said, you know, if you look back, I mean, this is the very beginning of the run here. You know, I don't want to say it's the beginning, but I mean, this is essentially when things got really bullish back here in like October. You see, you got your cross. Like you see, this is when the move started really accelerating, right? It was back here in August. But you got your, you know, your bullish TK cross right here. You got your bullish breakout and price started moving. And you see, you know, price comes back down to your Kijun, really nice opportunities to buy. So this is your 12-hour chart. Now, kind of the area that I want to focus on is right here. So you got, you know, what is this? You moved to 42,000 before price kind of came back, and you see you got a bearish TK cross right here. So this is like a change of behavior, right? You haven't had one the entire run up. Price comes up to 42,000. And you know what happens? Price comes back down to 28,000. People are panicking. Oh my goodness, the bull market's over already. I know, because I was trading this quite heavily. And it's just really funny to me. Like, one other thing that I want to say that you'll hear me say a lot is that people get really, really bullish at the highs. So when we were at 40K, right? Everybody and their grandmother is bullish, thinking we're going to the moon. And then this happens, right? And then the funny thing is, you know, we come down to 20K or 28K, and like, I had a green box. You can go back and look for this yourself in Discord. But you know, I had identified this area as a really good opportunity to go long, and we ended up bouncing off of it pretty nicely. But that being said, people get really bullish at the highs and they get really bearish at the lows. So it's kind of like using market sentiment to gauge, you know, you don't really want to be on the same side with everybody else a lot of the times, because like that's, you know, you'll kind of get led astray. I'll say that. But you know, the thing that I want to point out is you see that price actually, you got your bearish TK cross, meaning your blue Tenkan right here, your blue line, bearishly crossed your yellow line, so it went below, and price ended up closing inside your cloud and coming really close to the bottom of your Kumo. The reason why I'm highlighting this is because you look and see what's happening here. So it's kind of the same thing, right? So I will tell you, there's one thing with Ichimoku that I have done very well trading this bull market, and it's on, I really like the 12-hour chart, 12-hour and the daily. It's these bullish TK recrosses here. When you get, you know, you get your bearish TK cross, price moves up and ends up starting to push out of the cloud, and then you get your bullish confirmation here. Which when you get your bullish TK recross above the cloud, so price is above the cloud, and you have your blue Tenkan bullishly crossing your yellow Kijun, look at this move, right? So this is a really nice signal that tells me, hey, get long right now. Like, things are looking really good. Same thing happens here. So you get your, what is this? Your 58.5. Yeah, so $58,500 top here. Price pulls back pretty heavily. You don't come back into your cloud, but you do get, if you look, zoom in closely, you see that you barely get a bearish TK cross. So it does cross bearishly, just, I mean, you can see, I don't know if you can see the numbers at the top of my screen, but it's basically like by $100, barely. But as soon as you get your bullish confirmation, so your bullish TK recross above cloud again, look what happens, right? Another big move to the upside. Now, fast forward all the way to today. What do you see? So this is kind of like, as far as my 12-hour Ichimoku cloud, what I'm looking at is you got your top here at 65,000, and you got a flush down through everything. You're literally closed inside a cloud, but you got your relief bounce back up to your Kijun. So you came back to equilibrium, but you also rejected off of that pretty nicely. Came back, you know, there's basically a 12-hour level right here. Came back down. There's some nice support in this area, and you're currently kind of chilling right inside a cloud here. So what now, I'm gonna say it has me worried, but something that I am watching for, and you can see with the forecaster here, it looks like over the next couple of days we could get a bearish TK cross. So that's something to pay attention to. And if I do get that bearish TK cross, I would be looking for price, and there's a couple other factors that go into this, but more than likely they'll have lined up. I would look for the opposite edge of the cloud to be hit wherever this happens. So is it down here at 49,800? which I will tell you, there's a lot of technicals. There's other technicals that are lining up in this zone. And if I got the opportunity to take a trade here, I would probably I would myself would be interested in that. Or there's another nice flat spot here. And this is lining up at 52,500, which we've already kind of bounced off of. But that's kind of these areas. It's the edges of the cloud here that I would be looking for if I did get this blue Tenkin to bearishly cross and prices close, prices inside a cloud. So you want to see closes inside a cloud, and you would want to see kind of that rotation down to this opposite edge of the cloud. Or just like the other instances that I've pointed out here, if you do get a bearish TK cross, but price ends up pushing higher and gets it to basically recross bullishly, right? Like I had talked about in this instance right here and this instance right here. So you see you got your bearish cross and then you got your bullish cross. If prices, and again, we're too early for this to happen because we're still bullishly crossed, right? So like I would want to see this bearishly cross, and then, if price manages to push above cloud and kind of start grinding its way higher, if you did get that recross signal, again, this is kind of looking into the future. I don't really like to do that, but I do want to kind of tell you what I'm waiting for, right? If I did get that signal, I would very likely take that long again and looking for another all-time high. So that's kind of what I'm looking for on the 12-hour chart. So I will wrap it up on the daily just because I want to see what's going on. And you can see here, so your daily Kijun has been phenomenal buying opportunities ever since, again, back in October. Anytime prices come down to your daily Kijun, they've been beautiful. Go along and just be patient. But kind of seeing, this is a bit of a change of behavior. Usually you get really nice reactions off of it. Here you got a second opportunity to buy before you got your crazy, really nice impulse to move out. Same, you see price come back to equilibrium, which is your Kijun here, and another really push up for a new all-time high. But here we're kind of spending some time. You wick through. There was a lot of over leveraged people though. I can guarantee there was a lot. This wick, it took out a lot of stops on this move down. But prices, we're still holding this level of support, which is good to see. But we're not getting that initial push off that I would like, that we've seen previously, right? Which is, I don't want to say it's a huge concern, but it's definitely something that has me thinking, maybe there is an opportunity for us to go lower. And for me, a level, and again, this is lining up with a lot of other technicals, which I will share. It's getting kind of late for me here, but I will share tomorrow on Discord. But I really like this edge of the cloud here. So because this is a support level. So everything is still bullish, your Tenkin, your Kijun, everything's bullishly aligned. If I get an opportunity to buy a Kumo retest here, which let me go back and see if no, you haven't even had one. You haven't had one this entire time. So that would be kind of interesting. But this could be a nice, this could be a nice trade opportunity here. And there are some other technical levels that I will share tomorrow. I don't want to load them up right now, but I will do it for those of you in Discord. And just to kind of show you, there is a zone that I'm looking for. And you can kind of see where my mouse is hovering over. But there's a zone that I'm looking for in here that I think if we get the opportunity to get a trade off of here, I think it could be a really nice one. But I will share that tomorrow. But again, as far as trends, oh my goodness, it's over. I'll tell you right now, just by looking at this is very bullish. So, again, I had mentioned this earlier in the video. Could we have some prolonged sideways? Could we even, work our way down? If we came down here to, 40K, it wouldn't be the end of the world to me. It's, if Bitcoin has a little bit of a correction, we put in a longer, sideways correction phase, it wouldn't be the end of the world to me. I know people are panicking, but it would be totally, as far as I'm concerned, it would be totally fine. It would be healthy. Again, we've had 6 months of up. You've seen the monthly candles, right? It wouldn't surprise me to put in some sideways, put in some consolidation before, a more decisive move either way. It wouldn't surprise me, but I still, for me personally, I'm still very bullish. So that's just me. I don't have a reason to get incredibly bearish, right? But I like going back to the 12-hour, like to really wrap up this video because it's kind of it's getting long. What would concern me is, and you can see back here when price was in the cloud, you got your bearish TK cross, price moved to the other edge of the cloud before it bounced. What would be bad is if you got your bearish TK cross and price exited the cloud. And so you see how the cloud is kind of, oh, it's not, I mean, it's still pretty thick, but if cloud started, you know, thinning out, and if this bearishly crossed, that would be a problem. Like on a 12-hour chart, I would be, you know, I would be looking for some, you know, a deeper retracement, I guess I could say. Like from a macro perspective, it wouldn't necessarily change my thought process on Bitcoin, but for an intermediate time frame to, like, you know, I mean, I'm talking like this could play out over the next several months. That would be a pretty big initial sign to me that we might be having a change of behavior. And obviously, like, we're nowhere near that taking place right now. Again, you still haven't even got your bearish TK cross, but that is something that I will be paying attention to. Like, do we get the bearish TK cross? Does price, you know, or does your Kumo here remain bullish? Does price stay within the cloud? You know, if it does manage to move down, or does it exit? So like, there's a few things that I will be paying attention to, and kind of some closing thoughts on this is the reason, again, I stuck kind of strictly Ichimoku on this video and I didn't share my other levels, which I will do tomorrow, but I have the module that it will be coming out very soon, likely this week. So it's actually really good timing because I'm going to be, again, and for those of you who don't know, I will be sharing an Ichimoku trading module starting from literally very beginner. Like for those of you who haven't even seen Ichimoku before, I'm going to explain it just like I explained the trading bots, and hopefully in that kind of detail. And I'm going to work my way from a very beginner, basic theory all the way until, you know, till you get to more advanced theories. So it's going to be a pretty long series, but I think it's really good timing considering what the market's doing right now. And it'll give you a nice chance to put, what you learned there to the test. So that being said, hope you learned something. I learned something by doing some charting tonight. I honestly haven't done a whole lot of charting the past few days. I've been really busy, taking some family time, and really I encourage all of you to obviously, spend as much time with your family as you can. But that being said, I'll see you all on Discord. I'll see you all on Telegram. Everybody have a great day. Trade safe out there. We'll see you on the next one.